I'm going to preface my question by stating that there's currently 5.6 million intersex Americans, which are people who are biologically not considered female or male because they have incorrect chromosomes during their process of being born. So my question is, why do you personally not support gender-affirming care when a majority of those who are seeking gender-affirming care are intersex individuals, considering that there are double the amount of intersex people that are Americans and adults than there are trans people? And why are you fueling the rights ideology of this trans panic when considering that this healthcare that isn't even really for trans people, they just happen to use it, is more for other issues? And by doing so, you're limiting people who are suffering to get those actual treatments that they need.
Okay, so let's just go through a couple points here. First of all, you're saying that the so-called gender-affirming care is not for trans people. So just for the sake of argument, what if I said, okay, I agree with everything you said, gender-affirming care should be available for intersex people, but not trans. Can we agree on that then?
Yeah, I would agree, but the laws that you're supporting don't. That's why I'm asking the question.
That's actually not accurate. Have you looked at the legislation?
Yeah, oh, can I respond to you really quick?
Well, let me finish asking my question. What specific law would prevent someone with a genetic anomaly or a deformity from seeking some kind of medical care or plastic surgery?
So currently, one of the ways to fix intersex issues that you find down the line, which is currently typically infertility for men, erectile dysfunction.
I have to pause it. This is the same trend that happens with these liberals. He asked her a specific question and she goes on to ramble on about something that's not pertaining to the question that he asked. These people talk about how we need to listen to one another and communication is key, but here she is not even answering the question that he asked her.
When you figure it out when you're about a teenager, you have to start doing hormone therapy and hormone blockers, both of which are banned under multiple, including the one that I'm specifically referencing, it's the Kentucky proposed state law, would make sure that intersex individuals would not have access to those, as it's considered under the umbrella of gender-affirming care, because technically it is affirming their gender, as they don't have a strictly male or female genitals or a reproductive system.
Okay. I have to confess, I'm skeptical of your reading of the Kentucky law. I have not read the exact language of that law myself, so I can't say for sure that you're wrong about that. What I do know is that, what I can speak to is the Tennessee law, for example, where I'm from, which bans these procedures, castration, mutilation, specifically mentions that if someone has an actual valid medical issue, then obviously they don't apply. It's the same thing as, we should ban cosmetic double mastectomies for gender-confused women. Obviously, if you have breast cancer, you need a double mastectomy, then you would not be forbidden from getting that. It's very easy to write that language into the law. Now, that's the first thing. Going to your point about intersex, a couple of points here, a couple of things you said that I think aren't true. The first is you said, how many intersex people?
There's currently, the United States clarifies in their census that there is 5.6 million Americans, which is double the amount of trans adults in the United States.
5.6 million. Do you know how, for that figure, to arrive at that figure, do you know how intersex is defined?
Before we get back into the video, I now have memberships available for those who want to support the channel. If you click on my page, you'll see the join button where you can join and support the channel. Also, like the video as much as possible, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the post notifications so that you get notified when I drop a new video. Let's get back into the video.
Yes, intersex is defined as either having a chromosomal, here I actually have the exact definition pulled up on my phone from the US Census, because I wanted to make sure. So it includes people with an extra or missing sex-linked chromosome, those born with other physical variations that don't fit into the categories of male or female. This is seen as someone who has breast, but also has a penis.
Yeah. The issue is that the caveat there about other physical variations. So one thing that you should be aware of is that the actual number of intersex people has been, over the years, drastically inflated. And one thing that they've done is they've included, for example, a male who has an abnormally small penis size, for example, can be included as intersex under current definitions of the term. So what they're doing is they're taking people to sort of inflate the number of intersex people. They're taking people who their biological sex is very clear, but there might be some variances in their body, and then they're saying, well, that's intersex too. And I think
I'm not surprised that that's what they're doing. This woman is just here to try and push all this trans ideology, to push this A, B, C, D, E, F, G community, and to push all this nonsense that's going on. It's the usual with liberals. They always go to the extreme and go to the minority when they want to prove a point. That's what they always do. And they will push on that point until people start to believe in that point that they're pushing on. These people just want to continue living in their la-la land, living in a lie, and then they want everyone else to believe the lie that they believe in as well.
the reason that they're doing that is, well, it kind of goes right to this conversation now, that the existence of intersex people is judged as very convenient for trans people in the LGBT movement. It's why they've included intersex in the pride flag, even though by your own accounting, intersex has nothing to do with gay pride, trans, got nothing to do with it. It is a genetic anomaly, it is a physical deformity, it's a defect, it's a disease, whatever words you want to use. That's what it is. It's got nothing to do with any of that. So there is a concerted effort to inflate those numbers because they find them useful. Last point, it's not that intersex people are not their own sex. Okay, you said that they wouldn't count as male or female. That's not correct. There are only males and females in the human species. There is no third sex. No biologist worth his salt would recognize any third human sex. It can't be defined, it can't be named. An intersex person, an intersex individual is a man or a woman whose biological sex, for this small minority of people, is harder to determine because of genetic anomalies.
What Matt Walsh is saying is absolutely true. There is no third gender. What's happened to people who are intersex is it's a deformity. It's like saying when a baby is born and it only has one leg and you have thousands of these babies born with one leg, they start to classify this one-legged baby as a different human being or a different category to human beings. No, it's still a human being and we recognize that it's a deformity. It's not the norm, and intersex is not a third gender.
That may affect, for example, their sex organs. But they're still male or female. Okay, there are only male or female gametes, ova or sperm. That's all that there are. There are no other options. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, can I ask a follow-up question really quick then?
Sure.
So,
Someone said no, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So, you said that it's either male or female. It's just harder in determining what it is. But in this time frame, would you say that there is technically a fluid system of what could be considered male and what could be considered female, such as with real-life examples, people who do have breasts that look like female breasts, but they do have a penis? Would you say that that is a man?
There's a very good system for determining if there's a male or female, and it's right almost every time. I mean, it's right 99.9% of the time. It's only for a small minority of genetic anomalies that there's any kind of issue at all. Now, you just gave the example of someone with breasts and a penis. Well, again, you're taking a hypothetical person. I would need an actual individual, and depending on how they look, that shows how deep we sort of have to go to figure out what their actual biological sex is. But, you know, I will say that a male who develops breasts is obviously still a male. The last point I'll make about this is that another way of looking at it, there's no third sex, right? And the way that we know that is because there is no category of person who has the reproductive capacities of both male and female. So you either have the reproductive capacity of male or you have it of female, or you're supposed to have the reproductive capacities of a male, but you don't because of a disease, or female, but you don't because of a disease. You know, a third sex category, I suppose, would be someone who has both reproductive capacities. If you were to find somebody like that, well, now you have identified a true third sex individual, someone who does not fall under the category of either male or female. That sort of human being has never existed on the planet and never will exist and can't exist because there are only males and females. All right, thank you.
And that's exactly it. All this trans ideology and all this degenerate behavior is absolutely stupid. And it's sad that they have duped college students into believing this rubbish. And they've duped a lot of people in Western countries to believe in this ideology that's really more harmful than helpful. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.